Kate. I'm from SBFO, it's short for Small Business Financial Ops, and essentially we're bookkeepers, but what we're really passionate about is process design for small businesses so that you don't have to do any bookkeeping. Look, we typically work with professional services, not exclusively, but typically businesses who are past survival mode and are employing and really focused on growth. And primarily we work with business owners who really value their internal resources and they value their time and their time of their teams. I think the choice of resourcing your business effectively was my biggest drive and is still my number one focus if I do any presentations or education. So if you're touching a piece of paper and you're physically holding it in your hand, you have to be in the same location as that piece of paper. And if you don't have to be in a particular location to operate any particular aspect of your business, then your choice to resource those tasks is tenfold. So our team is international. We have a team across Australia, in the Philippines, Vietnam, and we're about to onboard an Indian team as well. And those teams work together as part of a cohesive whole, but they all have their different niche areas. So our admin team are based in the Philippines because their English skills are fantastic, and our processing teams are based in Vietnam and soon to be India as well, because their technical skills are really highly developed. And then of course our BAS agents and our account managers and the people who talk to our Australian clients, they're all based in Australia. I think before we were still running a traditional bookkeeping model, and we had the cloud applications, yes, but really hadn't embraced cloud workflow. And then we actually started to do, in a very articulate sense, what a lot of bookkeepers do without thinking, and that is actually running our clients' business operations in terms of their finance and accounts. But we've done that from a documented perspective and from a resourced perspective. So what is different now is that everybody has their task, their place and their applications. Whereas before we would have a more broader approach to client management, which as I was discussing earlier, was not very redundant, because if I lost one BAS agent, then I lost all of the workflow for that client and had to rebuild it. Yay, let's go cloud accounts, that's fantastic. And then we're all still sitting at our desks with trays of paper and post. And the irony there is that that's so not cloud, even though we're all using Xero. So we started to do some investigation into how we could get away from this paper that we're all so wedded to. And through trial and error and using different resources, both internal and external, different applications and developing different workflows, mostly by developing ones that didn't work, we built a model around very specific workflows for different tasks throughout our delivery process, which means that we're as automated as we can be. And I think the key there is that automation is actually always brought to you by people. But the technology available to BAS agents to lodge without a requirement for a desktop environment is still, it's fairly basic. So it was a pure time saver for me. The ability to draw information from Xero through GovReports straight into the ATO is gold. It's a massive time saving. And then of course it's also cloud-based, where the ATO portal isn't, insofar as that you do need to have your AusKey loaded, or you need at least a Firefox browser. You can't just open a Chromebook anywhere and log into the ATO. But even so, GovReports links with MyOb and QBO, so that's no problem there. Again, we just yank all the data directly out of the software, one way or the other. And we can still put BAS statements or reports in manually using GovReports. I think one of my favourite things is that it gives me the ability to lodge ETP statements using Xero. Now Xero actually doesn't do ETP statements, but I can pull out all of the PAYG statements from Xero and then add on the ETP statement to that lodgement. And I think that's my favourite thing about GovReports, but I'm a super nerd just now. A massive time saving in what was a manual process, and like that's what we're kind of the anti-manual process people, you know. So just massive time savings. If you think on a per lodgement basis, probably 5 minutes per lodgement. 5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot times 1,000. So, you know, when you start adding it up that way, not to mention the resourcing choice. So again, I can't just open any computer and log on to the ATO, whereas even if I'm on leave or something's falling over and I'm on a train, I can open GovReports and deal straight away because it is a cloud option. Absolutely. I think if you don't have a vision for where you're going next, you get a bit stuck. So I would like to expand our client base further to get more representation in Western Australia, and I would like to develop our strategies and internal workflows, and specifically we're building some software around the Google Apps suite that will be a great help, I think, to BAS agents and other businesses who want to really leverage the integration of all of the cloud platforms. So planning and then deliberate design around what you're going to use, why you're going to use it, and how it will benefit you. I mean, we're looking at, you know, the bottom line for all of these implementations.